Honorable Chief Guest of the day, Justice Rama Subramanian, sorry. My very dear friend Shrijeet, Mr. Subhajyoti Ray, Chandra Mishra ji, friends. We've all attended several seminars, several meetings, several programs, several exhibitions, several symposia across the country. This is a very special occasion where we're not just buying products. It is not a workshop to talk about the products of those who were formerly beggars. This book that I had the privilege to edit has contributions from several, which talks about several aspects about begging. We've done in this book the historical perspective, what different religious texts have to say about begging, and whether it is the Bhagavad Gita or the Guru Granth Sahib or the Bible or the Quran or the Jataka stories. It's not about begging, it is about participation, it's about sharing. It's about understanding that the wealth that you own is not yours. It is about realizing that in this world, the strength lies in sharing. The strength lies in being together and in working together. I met Chandra Mishra ji quite by happenstance. Both of us were at a TED talk in Bengaluru, where our subjects are very diverse. I was talking about the linguistic diversity of the country, and he was talking about how we can bring an enterprise to 4 lakh people in this country who are often seen but not heard, and certainly not ever listened to, because the typical reaction of a middle class household when we see beggars at intersections is sometimes of wanting to share, sometimes of mild irritation, and sometimes even an element of disgust of why are people begging. And for those of us who've been in the government for a long time, we think that after all we've implemented the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. After all, there's the National Food Security Act. We're giving, the government is providing food to 68% of the people. There is a right to food, there's a right to education, and yet, how is it that beggars are there? And that's when we started editing this book, when I started editing this book, one realized that there are social aspects to begging, there are political aspects to it, there are economic aspects to it, there are sociological aspects to it. They're driven sometimes by extreme poverty, sometimes by family situations. And we also notice a vast majority of our beggars are the most vulnerable, children and women. So in the overall world of begging, there is a predominance of women and there's a predominance of children. And these are actually the most vulnerable sections of a society. A society cannot call itself equal or equitable or humane. In fact, because Homo sapiens sapiens, human, all these things are connected. If we have to call ourselves human, then in that case, one has to be connected to everyone. And what better way to connect than through enterprise? Because as has been pointed out earlier in the video, we donate a lot. There is a tradition of donation, there's a tradition of charity, but we have to convert this donation and charity into an enterprise. This book that will be launched today has several chapters, and as has been pointed out in a landmark decision of the court and been followed by the legislature, it is not a criminal act. Begging, no one is a beggar by choice. One of the myths that we've created around ourselves is that, beggars are lazy, beggars don't want to work. That myth gets totally destroyed. And today we saw Ms. Mala Didi ji. Namaskar. I think a big round of applause for her and Sana. Please, आगे प्लीज और जो आज जो हम इस मौके पे पहुंचे हैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और बहुत कुछ ना कहते हुए मैं यही कहूँगा कि इनका हुनर इनके प्रोडक्ट्स में है, इनकी और जो जो हम सब मिलके अगर एंटरप्राइज को प्रमोट कर सकें, बेगर्स कॉरपोरेशन को प्रमोट कर सकें, और एक और बड़ी अच्छी चीज़ जो बेगर्स कॉरपोरेशन में है, it is a for-profit enterprise. It is not an NGO. It is not a charity. So we can invest in Beggars Corporation of India and expect some good returns as well while in the process of doing good work. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Yeah.
सबसे पहला तो किताब के बारे में कहना है, 9 ही चैप्टर है, बड़ा सा आसान पढ़ाई है, उसमें कुछ ज़्यादा कुछ इट्स नॉट डिफिकल्ट. इट गिव्स यू प्रैक्टिकल एग्जांपल्स, लोगों के बारे में कहानियाँ बताई गई हैं और उससे ये मॉडल कैसे निकल के आता है वो बताया गया है. इट्स नॉट डिफिकल्ट. सो आई मीन आई थिंक इट्स अ ब्यूटीफुल सिंपल रीड. ज़रूर खरीदें और ज़रूर पढ़ें और पढ़ाएं. नंबर 1. नंबर 2, पढ़ने के बाद एक्ट करें. पढ़ के फायदा नहीं है अगर आप एक्ट न करें. एज एन इंडिविजुअल, एज पीपल दैट यू कैन टच, जिनको आप इन्फ्लुएंस कर सकते हैं, चाहे वो ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हो, चाहे वो कॉर्पोरेट हो, चाहे वो आपका अपनी फैमिली हो या लोग जिनको आप फ्रेंड्स फैमिली सर्कल जानते हो. वी मस्ट ट्राई टू मेक श्योर दैट वी आर एक्चुअली नॉट जस्ट रीडिंग द बुक बट एक्टिंग एट इट, व्हिच संजीव वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट. डोंट डोनेट, इन्वेस्ट. और डोनेशन में क्या होता है, एक हायर लोअर आ जाता है, लेकिन इन्वेस्ट में वो हायर लोअर नहीं रहता है. अगर आप गुजराती भाइयों को पूछे वो आपको समझा देंगे इसके बारे में. There is something called, equality in it. And there is something which I think Professor Seshna was talking about. It changes on both sides. दोनों तरफ change है. Change है कि वो dignity है. काम करने की एक dignity है. Look at the kind of products. I mean, I just love the feel of this product. It's brilliant. ये नहीं कि ये कोई मतलब बेकार सा प्रोडक्ट बना के बेच रहे हैं. You talked about it, it's like bottom-up pyramid coming from the supply chain to the top-up pyramid. That's the second point. So act on it. And the third point I would say is that this is only the beginning of a change. It will become a change when you internalize it. You feel the difference and you want to act on it. If you don't act on it, ये रह जाएगा. And I have 2 small suggestions. Sir, since you're here, I'll leave a suggestion with you. I'm sure you can all influence. CSR in organizations today, how much amount of money goes on CSR? It goes on non-permanent change. Today we are fighting saying this is a FPP organization, not an NGO, which is a for-profit organization that Sanjeev was talking about. And therefore CSR money doesn't come into this game. One little change can make a big difference if CSR money from corporates can be a part of the change here for this Beggars Corporation. I would recommend that you should look at it and see if it can help us do that. The second thing I would recommend is that different things that we are doing a lot of things, whether it is social welfare, rehabilitation, whether law, whether it is on business models. We need to come together. These need to come together to make a difference. And I think this model, what it does differentially from anybody else, is that it brings all of those aspects together. And I think it will make a massive difference if that little push from the government comes to say that this is a realistic model that can happen, and do it city by city. And to the team members, it's not going to be easy. आसान नहीं होगा ये करना. City by city करना होगा. Don't open too many books, too many chapters. धीरे-धीरे हर एक city को करके खत्म करें. Do it slowly, but do it surely. I wish that all of us come together, and there's a massive need. It's a big need. It's a good cause. Let's come together and make a difference. Thank you.
Great occasion. I have been in touch with Shrijeet Mishra ji about 2 years from now. Since the last 2 years, we did a conference in our institute called Sustainability, Equity, Entrepreneurship and Digital Strategies, called SEEDS. This is a conference we do globally with another partner, international partner, Middlesex University, and we do it across the globe. The 3rd edition is happening in Thailand. As part of that, we try to look for very interesting, innovative models of business in society. And that is when I came to know about this wonderful work that Chandra Mishra ji is doing and invited him to address us in our inaugural session. And that's when I started to kind of interact more deeply with Chandra Mishra ji. This is amazing. I think this kind of a profitable enterprise to uplift people from from world of deprivation to dignity is unheard of. I think globally, this is the most amazing business model one can think of today, and perhaps this is the only model that might work for a society where we should, as human beings, be proud of our fellow citizens. As Sanjeev Chopra ji very rightly mentioned, that sometimes we get little bit of disgust also when we see beggars. Some of us do donate also, but as long as we allow ourselves to tolerate that within the society and don't and sleep comfortably thereafter, there is a problem in the way we are thinking about humans and our fellow beings. And I think this turning the whole bottom of the pyramid business model, which was originally conceptualized in early 90s, where we used to think that you need to create products and services to cater to the needs of the people who are at the bottom of the pyramid. So that's a great opportunity to market. But this model, what Beggars Corporation has done is just the opposite. It's creating supply from that side. And that is the fundamental shift in the way economics is going to work. The whole structural organization of the society and the structural drivers of poverty will be challenged. As academic institutions, we always try to question assumptions. And we only question. Chandra Mishra ji and his team has demonstrated it. I'm very happy to be associated with him, and every day is a learning for me. I keenly look forward to do a very deep reading of this book, and I encourage everyone here to do the same. This is an effort that everybody has to patiently join in and do their little bit, because ultimately happiness and joy and prosperity is something that needs to be shared so that it remains sustainable. Otherwise, it cannot be. If it's not shared, it can't be sustainable. That's how we are all connected. So thank you so far.